Okay, so welcome. This is Justin Thorpe with another tutorial. I'm going to kind of go over some T-splines library elements that I have that I can pull out and use and build a quick ring. I don't usually do voiceover, but my whole video got kind of messed up and I have to do voiceover this time. So hopefully we'll get it right. So there we go. I have a library. I choose my shanks library and I'm just going to choose any random shank here. Usually can find one that will fit to the design I'm trying to make, and if I don't, I'll just make a new one and add it to the library. First thing, you pull it out and it'll come out probably the wrong size, so you'll have to go in, zoom in, select it, and I'm just trying to see what size the other one is. But basically you select it and scale it. Sometimes I'm not as exact like this. I just scale it to be as close as it can be. Or you can get, like I'm doing here, the right ring rail and scale it from one point to the other. So there we go. Just delete that ring rail and it's the right size. So usually on my shanks I will pre-save selection sets. So for example, I want to, after you scale that to the ring rail, sometimes the outside that thickness will be too much or too little, and if I save a selection set on the outside or on the edge, I can easily just scale it up and down and it'll thicken it or not. So it's a quick way of doing it. I didn't save this one with that, so I'll have to go through and select it now, which will take a little time. So there we go, starting at the top, just kind of selecting the outside this time. I'll also usually save a selection set for the outside edge in case I need to thin out the bars or the whole ring or thicken it, widen it, I guess. So as long as you save those, you can pull them out and they'll be with it forever. Or it just takes a minute to redo it if you didn't ever save any. So here we go, just saving it, naming it. There you go. Now you just have to go back and push the play button and it reselects it. So in this case is where I should be scaling it. Go there, I'll do a 3D scale or a 2D scale, and usually pull it in. I always have handy shortcut for measuring, so I can always just do a quick measure of how thick it is. There we go. And hopefully that's good. Let's see, next I'm going to do the selection set. Oh, never mind. I'm going to pull out a center stone. Usually I'll start out with the center stone before I even pull out a shank, but I'm a little out of order today. So we'll pull out a stone, just something to work around, see what we can do here. Do a little bit of adjusting to the shape you want. Just kind of looking, trying to see what to do here. Probably going to, it's like a guessing game since I'm doing the voiceover now. Sure, I'm explaining something that was important. This is what I'm doing. So, just showing that you can actually take this, and if that groove was in the wrong spot, you're able to take and select these points, delete surfaces, and then weld these points together. And then it'll just pull it up higher. And then boom, you have that. And you can just do it to where it's a little, space between them, or pull that groove way down further. And now I'll go through and show you how to lengthen it. Just select, probably just delete that. You only need to do one side. Don't know why I did. Selected both, but this part, because it was connected here, didn't want to come apart, and so I tried a few different ways unwelding it. None of it worked. What finally worked was just unwelding the edges, not the points. So just give me a minute here to figure that out. Okay, there we go. Now I'm getting to the edges. Okay, now you can just pull them apart. Another way, instead of deleting that, I could have just taken the edges from the beginning along that symmetry orange line and have just unwelded the edges, pulled it apart. Probably would have been a lot quicker and easier. Now I have to go back through and add a surface there. Sometimes, oh, this one, yeah. I think I was a little confused here. How fun, how fun. When I just sit there and look at it and stare, I'm just kind of thinking and trying to figure it out. So what I usually sometimes will do, if there's multiple surfaces I'm going to append, I'll just draw a line and then I have something to snap to when I'm doing that, so it's not like in midair. There we go, and then you can delete that little line after. So I'll have to draw another little line here. The next part's easy, just seal up the next section and then the last. There we go, smooth it out. So you can pretty much bring that groove up and down as far as you need it. Next, I think I'll just add some stones and maybe a bridge. Probably the bridge. Let's see. No, I'm going to thicken it. So, like I said here, take the edges, save the selection set, open it up, push record, name it. Just going to name it, I think. edge. Let's see. Nope. That works. Okay, so take it, select it. I'm gonna export it back to my burr library. Now, in those settings, you can actually bring it up and tell it where to bring up your library. I already have that set up. So anytime I have a T-spline selected, I can just select it, push export to library. Then I can, the burr library, and then I can select what folder I want it in. And that's where I store all my library pieces. It's a great way to keep things organized. I wish they would implement that into Matrix without our little workarounds, but it's still, I'm glad I can do the workaround. Saves me. So there we go. Now you can just pull that out, thicken it. Taper that a little, try to straighten things out. Little detail work. And that's the fun thing with T-splines. You can just pull it, push it, get it to where you need it. Selecting edges is always great. In this case, I'm just doing small adjustments, but if you need to, a lot of the time I'll just select one edge, hit L to loop it around, and then you can adjust the whole area around. But right now I'm just kind of doing edges. Since I'm going to be adding stones, I'm trying to get that center line, excuse me, that center line right there in the middle, because that's where the stones will go. I'll just kind of going to use it for a guide since it's not quite perfectly in the center. Sometimes they are, and you can just roll with it, but in this case I'm going to extract the line and then rebuild it and adjust it where I need it. Kind of going back to the top area now, but I'll get to that line, I promise. Okay, let's take that and probably just twist it now. So it kind of twists up, lands flat up on the prongs. There we go. Adjust the top, make it nice and neat. If it gets all wonky and it's not perfectly how you want the prong, if you can keep adjusting and playing with it or not care, or just make it taller and whack off the top, however you want. If you're really picky too, it's possible to, even after you're done with the ring, bring it over to, if you have like ZBrush or something, you can bring it over there and then just kind of sculpt the top a little bit and make it exactly how you want it. Very flexible if you can bounce between programs. But in this case, just kind of show you this adjustment. So there's where I push L, select it, push L. And then now I can just adjust that. Same goes with there. Pull it in. Now what's up missing? The bridge. Let's go back into my library. Go into my parts library. And I have a bunch of different bridges available. Since this is kind of slanted outward, I'll use my double bridge. And it's already close to in range. This one, not sure if I saved my selection sets on it. But usually when symmetry is on two separate pieces like that, you can't just select it. It'll select both pieces, so you have to select just the surfaces. So I'll probably lock that green side so I don't select them. Then I can just select the surfaces on one side since it has symmetry on, and then I can scoot it over. There we go. And the best way, instead of rotating, because that'll cut into the ring rail, the best way is to do that. Turn on the points, do shear or take off T-splines for a moment. Type in shear, and then you can select up and then just shear it whichever direction you need it to go. That way it'll keep the inside ring rail pretty even and clean. And just turn on T-splines again. I always like to work in the darker green and blues and those colors. Usually I always use those colors instead of the middle 1s and 2s, which are the bright greens. Just easier on my eyes. So yeah, here we go. See if you needed to thicken that bridge. See if I have it. Nope, I only had one selected. So yeah, I need to go back through my library and pre-save these. But for now, since I don't have it, I'll have to go through and manually select it again. So I'm just going through, selecting the top half. And remember, save your selection sets. That way you'll always have them and you won't have to keep doing this. It saves so much time. So there we go. Save it, name it. I'm gonna save over it. That way I have it saved for now and for always. There it is, just save. There. See, it's been a while. I had to convert it to Rhino 5. It's been a while since I've re-saved over that. So now we've got that. You can just scale it. So like check the thickness. If it's not right thickness, just do a 2D scale up or down, depending on how thick you want to have it. And then you just go through and recheck the thickness and you're good to go. It's probably good for this demo. I'll pull that on, got that going. Now that needs a little under gallery, so we're going to use the T-spline under gallery here. And the good thing with T-splines is so easy to adapt even after that. It's just like the head bezel builders and all that, but you have a little more freedom. So don't worry if you want it more rounded or if you want it sharp on some edges, you can easily tweak it to do that. So I'm just trying to get the angle of that seat just right. Now you can change and adapt the thicknesses you need to. So looking pretty good. I'm going to select the edge, L, to select all the edge. Now I'm going to 2D scale it in to thicken up that bottom a little bit. There's an extra thing just from the builder right there that has an extra edge. I'm just going to delete it, create a smooth edge there. And I'm going to take that edge, scale it out so it kind of goes into the prongs a little more. Got to make sure from the top view with the stone it doesn't go past the stone. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's square up the bottom if you don't want it totally round. Make it a little more like the rest of the ring, kind of squarish. Just select the edge. We're going to insert an edge. It kind of pulls that out. So we'll just pull it back in a little. And we'll 2D scale that in just a little bit. It's probably too much. I guess I'll take that, select L, pull it in. Pull these in, continuous adjustments, refining it to how you like it. Okay, now we will take it and here's where I think I'll, well, job bag it just in case. Usually job bag quite often, but I haven't been in this demo at all. Okay, I'm probably going to pull out that line now. So select the edges in the middle. You can either just select them individually or just push L and get them all, and then unselect the ones you don't want. But I'm only going to just go down like a little ways, so about down to there. So now you just look for and extract edges. Okay. Now I'm going to take that edge and rebuild it. I'm going to go into more of a compatibility mode here. Just checking if you can also extract isocurve. That's another way of doing it. If you're in the right compatibility mode. If not, then you can't extract a curve on a T-spline. So that's another way. If that line is in the middle, it's quick and easy to do it that way too. Just showing you multiple ways of doing it. So here we go with that. I guess I'll throw in the stones, gems on curve. Bring that down a little bit. Size to fit, and this is where you could actually do it in a few different ways. Once you get the stones laid out with the size that you need, if you had to, you could reselect the edge of the shank and thicken it depending on if you need a certain size in there. If not, it's always easier to just go with the flow. But basically, put it in there, and then you can either make them big to where, in this case, in the way I'll finish it is to do that and cut out a space for the stones so they're just kind of on the surface with the prongs. No border. But the other way would be to actually create a cutout so it leaves a little border so they're almost like in a channel, but not a channel set, but a channel for the stones, a very low, thin one that the prongs will be in holding the stone. But if you'll see, so yeah, you can do it in a few different ways. I think I'm gonna just adjust that line. So we gotta turn off the T-splines, otherwise all the points come on. And you turn on points, so I had to turn off the T-splines. Now I'm adjusting the line after I rebuilt it. And then once you just enter it back into the gem on curve, it readapts to the surface. So anytime I'm doing it without the edge border, you still have to leave a little metal past the stone. You don't want to have the stones just sticking out in space. I'm going through, since my line wasn't perfectly in the center, I'm going through and just kind of adjusting each stone individually. It doesn't take too long, but you know, that way you get them in the exact right spot that you want them. Sometimes I'll just select them all and then you can see them through the surface. See if they're in the right spot. Looks pretty good there. So next, add some prongs. Now usually I'll have a few styles and I don't have them. They're all at work. So usually I'll have a big library of those two presets, but since I don't have them, I'll just kind of do some quick adjustments on them. But style sheets is another powerful tool in Matrix. It's just great to be able to do that. Also, hope and wish someday they'll develop it more, make it a little easier to use in this area, but it works and that's all I need for now. So if I was going to be adding the edges, this is how I'd be starting out doing it, but in the end, wasn't really enough room on this one. I could have widened the shank a little or put smaller stones in, but it's just looking and see how it kind of goes around the edge. It's not going to create what I wanted. So there is a method of me cutting that out, and I kind of deleted that part of the video. Whereas in T-splines, you can sometimes just create little a few lines on the end and then pull those surfaces down instead of cutting it, and it creates a nice cutout for them. But it didn't look pretty, not in this case, and so I had to delete it, and I'm just saving style sheets right now because I didn't have any with as a number, so I could just click number 2 and it'll pop up. But anyway, so I deleted that surface, that T-spline, and put the old one back on, and now I'm just doing a cutter. Channel cutter, make it low, just below the girdle. Then I just widen it super wide so it'll actually cut through the shank. So there we go, there's the original shank. And it sticks past the halfway point, and so I'll have to take a little block, a red block, you'll see here, and cut off that part. You pretty much do a quarter of it, and then you can just mirror the other sides. So first, do it from there, pull it up, make sure it's in the right spot, pull it down, then just Boolean difference, then you can just mirror that around. Or you can just do one side and then, you know, cut the whole shank in quarters and flip it around. Either way. Now, for some odd reason, usually I can always take a T-spline, Boolean difference, and it converts it to a poly surface. For whatever reason, because it's a tutorial, it wouldn't do it. So in the end, I had to just convert the shank to a poly surface and then do the boolean. Here you see me trying, saying, what's going on? Why isn't this working? Don't know. One way doesn't work, you just try another. So there we go. Come on, let's convert that. T-splines on. Must have been important, I circled it. Maybe because could possibly have to do with something. Maybe I had the T-splines on. When you do, and you're pushing boolean difference and my shortcut keys don't work because I have T-splines on. So when things are going strange, turn off T-splines, then you got all your shortcuts back. Then I can do the boolean. There we go. Just gonna convert it anyway. And I usually will always save the shank in a job bag right before I do convert it. That way I can always go back to that shape right before I cut it if I need to make some adjustments. So there we go, we got some prongs on there. Don't worry that the metal sticks past it. That's actually pretty good. Just a little bit. I'm trying to, right here, seeing if I can round those edges right there so it doesn't look so strong, but it doesn't always, usually it works, but it doesn't always work, and in this case it's not, so I'm not going to play with it, just leave it like that. Cool thing about this too is with these stones and prongs, you can always adjust a stone individually and it will move, prongs will kind of move with it. So right here I'm just kind of setting up a, if you want, kind of like that U-shape cutout in between each stone. It'll create that effect. I usually also have these saved as a style sheet. So I just click it and go, but since I don't do this at home, I don't have it saved. So I'm kind of creating and saving it. So here's how you set it up. Look in here. Okay, they're trying to figure out, hey, where are all my style sheets? Dang it. So that's not working. We're gonna do the middle cutout. Gotta find a new profile. Gonna first move it to there. I thought, oh, in the middle, no, oops. Gotta move it back. Yeah. Now adjust it to the width. See, once you get these things set up, then you just pull them out. I'm gonna bend that middle in, so, and then I'll kind of bend the middle up, in, and then also up, so the whole thing kind of extend it past it. I'll save it. A little wider, and I think this is where I push the middle up. There we go. A little bend in that middle. There we go. Now I save it. Just save over it, probably. And then now it's set up for future use. That's how you set up your style sheets. Then you just come here. I'm selecting both that bridge, because once I cut this, it'll probably go through and cut. If I don't cut the bridge with it, it'll show through. So, but first I've got to take this block again, cut that midway point so they don't run into the other part of the shank. There we go. Now I can mirror that. There we go. Then I'm gonna change this, I think, from single prongs to 4 prongs per stone. And yes, I have some style sheets saved there. Now it's just a matter of adjusting them. And then match attribute to that stone, and boom, they all fill in. So now I'm just kind of adjusting that line. Never was straight, so just gotta make some little tweaks to it. Didn't like the height of them, so I'm just readjusting, deleting them all. Now readjusting the one. Once I like the height of those prongs and where they're at, so they don't stick off the edge. So reselect them, match attribute to that one again, heads, and redo it. Now those prongs touching, no big deal. In the middle, you can easily take the engraver and a flat graver and just, you know, split them when you're setting. So don't worry about that. Just you can pretty much just mirror those around. Again, probably just right click on the stones, and then the color of the prongs you can mirror them pretty easy. So here, instead of doing that, I'm going to just split the shank in half and then mirror the shank over all that whole side. I don't know why I changed it to blue. Must have been a reason. And just join them together. There we go. Now, hopefully I do this last little part of adding the cutters for the seats for the stones. I guess not yet. I'm gonna just skip that part. I don't even know if I do that in this video, but for now, I think I'm just talking about you can go into your patterns library and maybe just find a pattern. Now all these patterns are cool because you can adapt them and change them to what you need and keep adding as you go. You can just keep adding to it. But here we go. We'll just do a scroll. It's just to kind of get, you know, an idea what you can do. Take that nice little scroll. We're gonna just not even like surface flow on it, but we're just gonna take it. You could just bend it or just put it in there. Right now I'm just trying to do it in place instead of trying to do it the other ways, but you could easily build a dummy surface, extract ISO curve on each end, or something like that, and then just build a quick surface and then smart flow your objects to it. Would be pretty easy, but in this case I'm just doing a quick cage edit to bend it. You could use bend or just cage edit. In this case it fit nicely there. You could just go through and keep adding elements like that, or do the smart flow method, which I usually do, but let's look for another element to add. There we go. It's not quite in the center. Gotta turn it. Spin it around. Just kind of stick it here in place. And just for one element, it's pretty easy just to stick one in there. Center it. So it's looking pretty good. Like I said, you can just keep adding more elements to it. Be pretty fun ring with all these different patterns and scrolls. Let's see, am I going to add more to it? Let's see, shanks. I must be talking about shanks. Maybe just libraries in general, because I love libraries. They just work so well. Just can't stress enough how important it is to start a library if you don't have one, with just different shanks that are common that you just use and can just pull out. And it just saves you a lot of time. I have it with parts, libraries, patterns, halos. I don't even use the halo builder. I just pull out my own T-spline halos for all the different shapes. It just works wonderfully. But yeah, I mean, just explore, tweak, design, and you'll have a great looking ring if you spend the time to do it right. Yeah, it's just having fun, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed this semi-tutorial. I never added those stone cutters, but that's another little part that you would need to do to finish up the ring, and just add those few more patterns. But that's good enough for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, we'll see you then. Oh wait, can I do a PS? There's definitely a PS. There's another little spot I think would be kind of cool to explore here. You got one last part. T-splines is so adjustable. If you had really wanted to do a different style ring and be able to do that adjusting, you can do that. And one way is to take this shank, I'll delete it and put in the old T-spline one just for this instructions. There we go. And yeah, it's the old shank, but no big deal. So we'll take this one, and we're going to just take these two and bridge between them. And let's say you wanted more of a, instead of prong set, more of a channel bar set. So just bridge and forgot to say how many segments I wanted. Definitely too many, but that's okay. And yeah, it breaks symmetry. You can always re-add it, but there definitely have too many segments there. But as you can see, it's something that you could do, and then if it was more simple, you could just pull it out and adjust it and make your little channel better, and curve it a little. But just a little PS, you can adapt these things to anything you want. Hope you enjoyed it, and good night.